Hey, I'm James Adams. I'm an entrepreneur, business coach, small business educator, and podcast host. I'm passionate about helping people like you build the careers of their dreams. I left my traditional 9-to-5 to start my own construction recruitment company, and now today I run a multiple six-figure company from the comfort of my home office here in the Toronto, Ontario area. I believe that anyone can achieve financial freedom and manifest a limitless career, and this podcast is going to help you discover what that journey looks like for you. Every week, we sit down with business leaders and industry experts to chart their career path and discuss topics like career pivots, leadership, entrepreneurship, personal branding, how to find the right career, and so much more. So get ready for a change because we're unlocking your unlimited potential.
Hello, and welcome to the Unlimited Potential podcast. We are super excited to be here today with the wonderful, lovely TV host and producer of the LizyT Show. Lizzy, we're excited to have you here today on the show. Thank you so much.
James, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here today. Congratulations on your show, Unlimited Potential. Wow, what a name. I mean, you really thought of this properly, because definitely the world is, the way the world is right now, we need to tap onto those unlimited potential. Yes. Congratulations. I'm honored.
Thank you so much. And the really great thing about having you on this show is you have also a following, and you've gotten some great success in the TV show world and getting on the radio. So we're excited to dive into your career path and really how you got there and what that looks like, right? Because I think there's a lot of people who would love to say, yeah, I'm a TV show host and a producer, especially during such an interesting time right now where there's so many ideas for people to be able to tap into that unlimited potential, right? So what was it that for you in your career, kind of unravel that for us, of how that came about and really how you came about finding yourself in this role?
Great question, James. And I think the way we met, it was when I was doing a talk about how I started the LizyT Show, and I think that captivated you and got everybody curious. So the way I started, it was very simple. I was a little girl with a dream. Was 5 years old, and I had this dream of interviewing people. You know, I used to see people on TV with a microphone and asking questions, and very interesting people. And I thought to myself, this is 5, 6, 7-year-old. Long time. I can't remember. Anyhow, I thought I want to do that. I think it would be fun. And one of the things that it was kept in my heart for a long time. I used to go around when there was birthday parties and there were events. I used to pick up a stick, right, and then interview people, my family, my friends, and they would say, "Go away! What are you doing? You know, don't do that." Long story short, time passed, and I was reading a book to my kids. I used to love, now they're teenagers, but I used to love reading books, and they used to love listening to me reading books about, you know, you can do everything, the little train that can, that kind of stuff. And it brought me back to my life. It brought me back to, hey, I had a dream. What was it? And then, believe it or not, we kind of put it on the little box, forgetful, you know, in the back of your brain where nobody can reach. And then I was able to reach, and I thought, hey, I wanted to be a TV host. I wanted to interview. I wanted to have a radio program. What happened to that dream? And it looked like I was thinking too much because I stopped reading the book to my kids, and it got me
right.
sad. It really got me sad. And I said to the kids, you know, kids, I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom. And I started crying. And I thought, wow, it must have been at that time really important for me to do that, because it moved me. It got me emotional. And that night, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sunday, and the kids have to go to bed early. So I Googled it, and I'm like, what does it take to become a radio host? And that's how all that started.
Wow. So it was literally you trying to inspire them through the books and reading some really cool and motivational type material. that it triggered something inside of you back when you were 5 years old.
Yes. Isn't that amazing? And a lot of us do that. A lot of us have dreams when we were little kids, but we put it aside. That's not going to work. You need to get a real job. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to make sure there's nothing wrong with that. But how about pursuing both? How about having that steady income with that job, and how about doing the dream on the side? People dream of becoming singers or writing that book, or like me, being a radio or TV host. How about doing both?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, right? They say work full-time on your job, but part-time on your fortune and your dreams, right? So you can definitely do both. And that's an exciting story, because I think a lot of people, they have these great dreams. I mean, kids are amazing and they have these great imaginations, but then somewhere down the line, it gets rerouted and you almost forget that. But you didn't let that dream fade away, and you were able to tap into that.
Yeah, I let it for a little bit until it was so strong that I'm thinking to myself, how can I motivate my kids, my two girls? I have two girls. How can I motivate them? How can I show them that a dream should not pass by unnoticed if I'm not doing that myself? And that kind of accountability, it kind of dawned on me.
Stirred inside you.
Yes, it was. I was being cynical, and I was being a hypocrite, because I say I have a dream, but I'm not following on my own. So, so what happened was I started it, but I started it really slow, and kind of sometimes we do that. We sabotage ourselves. We said, "I'm going to do this, but I don't think it's going to work. But I'm going to do it anyways, just because." To prove to my children that even if you have a dream, it doesn't work, you can still do it, try it, and then you can say, hey, I tried, it didn't work. To my surprise, it did.
Yes, absolutely. And you just went in and you said you went slowly to do it because of the self-doubt and self-limiting beliefs that we all have, that we have to break through, right? But then look at the success that you've gotten today, right? I think we talked earlier, your viewership is above 10,000 now, right?
It is incredible, because when I started to promote, and right now we're in a great time. We're social media. My goodness, we are in a time that we don't have to make tons of flyers. We don't have to put ads on newspaper or TV. We have media. We have promotion in our hands. Hello, we have cell phones that we can start promoting. So for me, it was putting an ad on Facebook, or promoting a show from. My first guest was an author, and she wanted to come to Canada, had a workshop. She was from the UK. She wanted to promote her book and her workshop that she was going to do here in Canada. And she contacted me and she said, by the way, how do we do this? And I'm Googling as I'm going alone. Like, this is I'm doing it, and I'm talking to my so-called client that I was supposed to have, and we're still friends then.
So they reached out to you.
That is it. Yeah, they reached out to me, and I started with one show, just talking to myself, talking about my dream. I don't even think I have that show still. It was so bad. If you look back,
we're our worst critic.
If I look back and if I listen to that show, it was so bad that I think I deleted. I should have kept it just so I can go back and see it. But the lady, the author said, her name is Amanda, by the way, I still remember. She said, I like your style. And I said to myself, what style? Well, my husband came up with the theme of the show, which is tell me who you are, what you do, contact info, anything new. So I work with them those questions, and obviously everybody wants to tell you who they are. Here I am talking about myself, what you do, contact info. So people tell them, and that turns into a half an hour show with great material, people, great golden nuggets, and it's this party.
It just evolves from there, and I love it. Right? It's kind of that keep it simple. and it works. It duplicates, and you've obviously had some really great success doing that, right? But I want to go back to the 5-year-old girl that had this dream and had this burning light inside her, right? What was that like for you, I guess, fast forward through high school, through college? Was that dream still there, or did that start to fizzle out and then it came back because you had the kids that really reignited
Absolutely,
it?
yes. It definitely through high school and through college, I did something completely different. I'm a dental hygienist, completely different than what I do right now, and which I don't work as a dental hygienist. I only did it for like 1 year after I graduated, and so yeah, definitely it died. It died because you don't see it possible. We doubt ourselves so much that you don't see it possible. It's not gonna work. Who's gonna listen? Who's gonna listen to you? Who's gonna watch you? The insecurities, the amount of questions, the amount of doubts that we put in to ourselves is incredible. I'm not an artist. I'm not a model. I don't have the looks. I don't have the hair. The list goes on. But you know what I learned? Do it anyway.
Absolutely, because those fears are still going to be those self-limiting beliefs, those thoughts, but you just got to say, sorry, thanks for sharing, and just hang up on them and just do it anyways, right? But what would you say to that 5-year-old girl or in high school and now, knowing what you know now, to somebody who's in that space who wants to pursue their dreams, to stick with it, right? Or do you think everything works for a reason, for sure, and it's great that it came back around. But what advice would you give somebody who's in that space, or they're kind of going through that career transition? They want to focus on their dream, their passions, but they obviously have to earn an income as well.
And that's an awesome question, James. And it goes both ways. Absolutely. If I knew what I know now, 5, 7, 8, 15-year-old, obviously my life would have been completely different. And it probably would have saved a lot of hustles and a lot of trials that probably I didn't have to go through. However, and I probably would have been much better at it, will have a lot more experience. And the however or the but that everything happens for a reason. I don't think I would have been the person that I mature enough, business-like enough to pursue what I'm doing right now. I think I have the maturity. I have the savviness. I think we are in a great, great time right now, especially as I said, the internet media is helping us so much. So I think it goes both ways. I could have done things different to be in a better situation or be even more popular than I am right now. Just kidding.
Sure.
Or this is a time for me, and I think I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying slowly. I had to work hard, and a lot of people see or hear me and they think, oh, this is easy. She could do it. This is a piece of cake for her. But it does take the work. I've been doing this now for January was my officially, because I'm a registered business now, a PR, JNLT PR Productions and trying to find the word, productions and PR promotions. So it took me 5 years to get to where I am right now. So it's not
and people don't see that, right? They just see it must be easy for Lizy. Right. She's a natural. It's like, well, it took you there a little bit to get there, right? Which I think is very, very key. But one thing I really wanted to highlight as well, because you made this transition later in your career, right? Like you said, you're a dental hygienist. I know we talked before. You went out to Regina and you had a career right there that you thought was fulfilling. But then how do you make that transition now? Because I mean, as a talent agent working with a lot of people, especially during these challenging times, they're saying they kind of lost their identity because unfortunately they're being laid off after 10 years, 20 years at one company. So how do you reinvent yourself and focus on those passions to say, hey, now is the time to do it, right? Like, what was that flame?
And that is exactly it, what you just said, James. We have that sense, that feeling, that sixth sense that there's a time for everything. And if the world is shutting the doors on you, if you lost your job, if you can't keep working because of COVID, or because that business shut down, there's something telling you that dream that you were before college or pre going to university or choosing that course that you wanted to do, but you just, shut the mind, close your eyes or close your ears, and you said, no, that's not going to bring me financial independence. So if all the doors are being closed and there is no other way, maybe you should listen to that dream that was hiding. How many people right now are making it huge because they had to reinvent themselves? That dream, we see it on television. So many people that have this type of business because of COVID, they have this type of business now.
So, yes, now's the time.
I would say if all the doors are being closed in your face and you can't move forward, that is telling you that you should move into that dream, creating something. Or if you are an inventor, right? You went to college, you did this, but you are really good at inventing something. How about pursuing that now? Because there is no other choice. But when you have nothing and you just have that one thing that you're good at, but you maybe think that you're not going to be making the money to support yourself, think again. Absolutely.
It's possible. Yes, absolutely. And I think one big thing that we briefly touched on with how this came about was you really found that why inside you that reignited that dream back when you were 5, right? It was your kids. You had to do it for them to inspire them. It's like, yeah, I can do this. I can get back to my dreams.
Was, to begin with, at the beginning, it was to prove them that that if you have a dream, you can pursue it and something could happen. At the beginning, it was that. Later,
yes, because you needed that to pull you forward.
But later on, I discovered how much I loved it, how much I'm in love with the process. For me, and I've expressed in many other interviews, and that the challenge, to me is a marathon, and I am a marathon runner. And to me is that marathon that I need to reach, the 15K for me to move forward. It is such a high. Well, right now, I was interviewing somebody from Georgia, a rap artist, and I couldn't bring him to be more lively, so I become lively. Like I want to pick up that person on my arms and said, "Hey, you're it. You don't know how good you are." And all of a sudden, the process and the interview starts going, and he gets into it. My voice, like I have a sore voice after I do my interview because I put 100% of me, and I'm actually tired after. I'm like, whoa.
It takes energy, right? You are inspiring hope in other people. You're taking a lot of information and dissecting it and really making sure it's valuable for your audience and for you. That's a huge process. And so at the beginning, your kids was your why, and now your why is just falling in love with the process, right? Because I know you're at the heart of your show. Your mission is just kind of connecting human stories, right, and covering on the television show. So what was it that inspired that approach? That simple, and you talked about it was your husband that did it, right? But what was the easiness, the simplicity behind it? Just saying, hey, let's just have connection, real human connection.
Absolutely,
here.
Yes. The story, the theme of the show was definitely inspired, or my husband got inspired from what I was doing, and he gave me the theme of the show. But when I am interviewing somebody, or when I meet somebody sends me a request and they say, I have this book to promote, or I have the story to tell. I believe that everybody, doesn't matter who you are, if you've gone to the moon and back, or if you have $1 million or $0, or if you are healthy or you're ill, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has an amazing hidden secret that are jewels to somebody else who probably is going through the same thing. I'm going through with my father with dementia. It's a horrible disease. I interviewed somebody who went through the same thing with her mother. She wrote a book about it. I interviewed her. She gifted me the book, and
Wow.
she's helping me. So she wrote the book for me, but obviously I can't be that selfish, because there's hundreds of other people in this beautiful world that our creative has created that need that book, because they're going through the same thing, or they need to hear that story because of going through the same thing, or they need to hear that song to uplift them, or they need to have that coach, because not every coach is for everybody. So they need to have that coach to help them move to the next step in their business. So I am.
So
how
true.
can I connect more people? And there's so many people in this world that need to be connected.
There is. And there's so many people out there that have a lot of stories of them tapping into their unlimited potentials, right? There's so many people, and you're uncovering all of them through their stories, and it's uplifting. And definitely, it's unfortunate what's going on with your dad, but it's crazy how you're able to connect with people that is going through the same thing, right? And that's what just the storytelling is with your show, and the ability to really pull that out from people and inspiring them to inspire others to do one of the same.
I always say that my show is just a little platform. I am not the star. You are. I want to give you the stage for you to shine. And whatever I have to do, how many flips I have to flip, or my voice low or high, I have cried in some of the shows because I talked to somebody who's gone through abuse in their life, and I identify with some of that as well. So it's incredible how many stories are out there that are not being told yet. And when somebody comes to the show, maybe I was talking to somebody yesterday. They're a singer-songwriter right here from Canada, which is, I love when I get Canadian, which they're not too many, because her story is amazing. And I'm so sure she should write a book, because I know not only her music will inspire other people, but her story as well.
No, that's incredible. And you're doing some great things. And now I want to dive into a little bit deeper of what your day-to-day looks like, so people can get a real picture of if this is the career path for them, this is what they can do, and get a real depiction of that. So what is your, I guess, day-to-day? How many episodes are you recording? Or because most of your stuff is live, right?
Very few. So I have a website that people go and log in, and they request interviews via audio or visual, whatever they feel more comfortable. Sometimes both. Also, they can request for coaching if they don't feel comfortable. So we do a test. So I go into my website every day, every morning, and I go through the requests. So I'm a little bit more selective, but I found that through the last 3 months with COVID, there is so many requests that I feel that I'm not being fair to people that are requesting interviews. So I decided that instead of one show a day, I've been doing 2 now. So I do either audio and video daily. So I go through the emails, get back to the client, get back to my guests, to the authors, to the musician. We sometimes test things out, because some of them, believe it or not, some of them are doing this for the very first time, and they're very, very nervous. And right now, I'm thinking, how can you be nervous? You're just gonna come here and have fun with me. But I'm seeing it from my point of view. I'm not noticing that they're petrified, scared. So
Right. Putting something on
yeah,
live, right? It's like the stage
absolutely.
fright.
Even though
Yes.
it's sometimes audio. So I said, just sit down, relax, grab your favorite drink. Don't tell me what it is. I don't want you to drunk on the show.
Right.
But just relax. And sometimes we do a test, and they realize.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. Pretend you're talking to your best friend you haven't seen for a very, very long time. We got reacquainted.
Brilliant.
And we're talking about things that happened for the last 10 years that I didn't know about it. And that changes their mind. They really go into, yeah, I'm talking to my best friend. And the day. So then in the afternoon, because some people have work, so obviously the afternoons or evenings are the days that people can do the interviews. So I do either audio or both lately or video.
So most of your scheduling is actually for these interviews is in the evenings or weekends, you'd say?
Most of them, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then how much time would you say you're spending prepping for them?
Well, see, the process now that after I've been doing this for a little longer than yesterday, it's been 4 years. So I find that I have this template that I use, and it's a lot easier. So I used to spend sometimes a whole morning or a whole day, but now that I know the process, because I've created my own process, very simple, nothing major. It could take me 15, 20 minutes, and then I move into next. I like to do flyers with their picture and my picture, and I promote it on social. I try to give them at least a week of promotion so we get people involved and nice. People participating. With the radio, people can call in and interact with me and the guests. So I prepare. I did hire actually a VA, a virtual assistant, to help me out with the emails. Great. And also I hired my daughter, my teenager daughter, to help me to work on the posters, which are the very simple templates. Just got to put the picture of the guest on the poster. So.
Perfect. That's great. And then you've obviously grown quite a bit of a following in doing so. So I mean, what's the secret sauce for the branding, or what was it that made you get to where you are today?
A lot of people think that there is a magic pill, and there is. Right. Unfortunately, it takes time. We're speaking to. I have hired a coach because I think it's time for me, because things are progressing in a way that I don't want to lose the rhythm, and I don't want to make mistakes. When sometimes too much is too much, and then you just, instead of holding, 5 balls, you just drop them all. So I think it was time very wise for me to hire a coach, a business coach, which is working great lately. And so I used to think that the fame or the followers or the likes or it will come, but it has to take time. And for somebody who is watching right now, you think, well, I want 10,000 likes on Facebook, and I want, I'm still growing my YouTube list. I'm not like many other YouTubers. That's still working on process. Right. But unfortunately, you have to put the time. You have to keep posting constantly. Right now, I find that Instagram is giving me a very good a stepping stone, a platform for me to grow. And so, but it's a constant work. And the days that I can post, I find that, the following goes down. People are expecting you to, what's Lizy has today, or what is she talking about today? Who does he have on the show? So people are expecting. So if you don't put the work, unfortunately, you're not going to get the followers that you probably want.
Right. And the consistency behind that, right? I think is important, because, I mean, how many hours do you think you'd say is your average, I guess, week or month, however you want to track it, compared to when you started versus
so
now?
Good thing that you gave me beginning and now. Beginning, it was a lot of hours. I was up at 3:00 in the morning, sometimes doing posters because I didn't know that there was a simple template of doing. So it was a long way of doing it.
Right.
From 7:00 in the morning until 3:00 in the early morning. Now, again, things you get the exercise.
You simplify things.
So I would say now, a couple of hours in the morning, maybe lunchtime if I can get my guests, if they're on their coffee break or lunch break. I find that those are great times for me to reach out to them and actually talk to them. Because they're they're a musician, but they work in a factory, or they're writing books, but they have an office job. So lunchtime is the time that I can reach out to them. And then the evening we do the show. So I would say 2 hours in the morning, an hour at lunchtime. And I do that when I go for my jog. So I walk every day, at least 5 kilometers or jog. And then I sometimes while I'm walking, I'm talking to my possible guests for the show, and then in the evening I do the show, and that's probably another couple of hours.
Nice. So 5-6 hours a day you're putting in because you really honed that system and that process.
That's right.
Now, what would you say to somebody that really wants to get into this space, right? And they're not really sure how to start?
I would say to them what I said to myself: try it, just do it. Try it, see how you like it. Is it what you thought it would be? Is it what your dream was from the beginning? Is it turning a chore, or is it giving you pleasure? Is it, wow, I found my calling?
Yes.
So try it, whatever is it that you want to do, right? Now, it could be the TV dream, or the radio TV. Some people are just strictly audio. They don't want to be on camera. They just want to be able to put their headset on, get onto that application if they use that, and then go on. So just try it. If that's what you thought it would be, great, keep going, keep at it. And if you don't, maybe there's another dream that is right in the back of your head that you haven't unlocked yet.
Yes. Just execution, right? And I work with a lot of my clients on career mapping and really sitting down and finding out what their career goals are, so they're more strategic about it. So I think that's exactly what you're saying. It's just really execute on it, figure out a plan, and just do it, right? And what's one thing that you wish you had known before getting into this passion of yours and this being a producer and show host?
So I do have a lot of help now, but before, if I don't do it, nobody else can do it perfect as me. Gotta do it right, gotta do it yourself kind of mentality. Now I'm starting to delegate, and yes, if I don't have time, or if I'm going to be wasting, and which is not a real waste, time doing something, then I would delegate. I'd say to my daughter, you want to earn some money? I need a couple of posters done for my show. And you want to book a guest? You want to give them a call? So delegation is important when you are getting busy. And so I wish I could have delegated more before then, and not, or ask for more help. We are so afraid of asking for help. I don't know, what is it?
Especially as solo entrepreneurs, right? You think, hey, I have to take everything on myself. It's my dream. It's my idea. And it's hard to let go, right? But that's a really big one.
That is such a huge mistake. And I say to myself, and I say to a lot of people and my kids, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong. You say, I don't know how to do that. And you're not going to be less of a person if you admit that this particular task, you're not good at it, or you don't know how. Can you please teach me? I can guarantee you, when you ask me to be on your. I am so happy to be here with you. I want to give back, and I think everybody is willing to help you when you ask nicely. True Canadian,
right.
may you please help me? And and people
For
will
sure.
come to your rescue. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that. And the other thing, it took me forever to hire a coach. Nobody was good enough to tell me what to do or how to do things. And
right.
once I decided, and I've gone through many people that I thought they would be good to work with me and help me out. And I always found that there was something that were not. No. This person has something that I'm not going to be able to do it. I always found a fault.
One reason not to not go forward
a
with
mistake,
it.
an error, or a fault. And finally, I said, you know what? Enough is enough. You don't know. You don't
Just
know it exactly. You don't know everything. Somebody else does, and we can definitely work together.
I love that. And going back to the piece about asking for help, I think it's a pivot a lot of us need to change in our minds, that asking for help a lot of people think is a weakness, but it's actually a sign of strength. I believe wholeheartedly is when you reach out, it's actually a sign of strength because it means you're human. It means you're able to get vulnerable, because at one point or another, it doesn't matter who you look at, and the most successful people in the world, they didn't do it alone. And that's what we have to realize. They did not do it alone. So that's a really deep topic that we talk eons about, but it's so true. So you wish you'd ask for help a little bit earlier on and delegated.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you said something incredible, James. The big names out there, big people out there, they have coaches, they have asked for help. They're big because they have a group of a community that they help them grow, right? I can guarantee you they didn't do it themselves. So who are we to think that we can?
It's so true. And I actually just recently hired a coach this year at the beginning of the year as well. And what really clicked for me is if you looked at any professional athlete in the world, they have probably 5 coaches. I mean, these are people that play at the top level of their game, the best of the best of the best. And even them, they have like 5 coaches for health, for nutrition, for their mind, for every little thing you can think of. So it's like, why shouldn't that be something that's a part of us? I think that was a really good move on your part for getting that coach, right? And really leveling up. But I wanted to switch gears here a little bit to get into, there's this really big mental awareness piece around social media, right? And there's a lot of people that get caught up in social media and getting addicted to the likes, getting addicted to the followers. And I think that's a really hot topic right now that is really stinging a lot of people mentally, right? So is that something, I guess, you got caught up in, or how do you overcome that? Or is that something that still you're working through? Because that's you see it all the time, right? People are addicted to their phones and they're waiting for that next like. They're waiting for more followers, and they get a high from it, right? So how do you manage that?
It's a good question, James. I used to. Facebook, they changed the algorithm, and you know that they used to have the likes, huge numbers on the side. All those things are changed, and I think it was the best thing ever happened, because I was kind of looking. It's hard not to. I was doing that, and as soon as they changed it, you have to like look with a magnifying glass to find out what they are. And I thought, you know what, that's not that important. So I realized that the quality for me, and as soon as I started not caring for the likes on Facebook or the followers on Instagram, the numbers actually dropped, believe it or not. And I was like devastated. What happened? And then I thought, you know what?
Right.
It's not about the likes. It's not about the followers. It's not about the tweets. It's about the quality. I need to put out really good. And I'm still learning, James. I'm still
Because it changes a lot,
I'm
right?
Still learning. I'm still trying to get educated into how you could better your name, your logos. I'm doing merch now.
Yes, love it.
I'm still learning, and I'm still reading and educating myself how to. But the likes and all that became part of the past for me. I would say probably a couple of years ago. I honestly couldn't care less. I want to be able to. I get more excited when people comment on my social than when somebody puts a like. I get a lot more. Oh, I'm getting interaction. I'm getting the engagement. Let me talk to this person. Let me DM her, because there's a lot more to this comment.
Right, because that means you struck a chord with them if they took the time to comment. Right. Now, how do you deal with the haters? I guess in the obviously in this space,
Absolutely.
You're going to get some people
Absolutely.
at that level.
At the beginning, I didn't get any because I was not well known, but now I would say a couple of years ago, I started not to only get the haters. I wouldn't call it haters, but people don't understand what I'm doing. And I realized that, hey, not everybody's going to like Lizy, and Lizy's not going to like everybody. That simple as that. You are not going to be liked by the whole world. You have a target of people that appreciate what you do. I appreciate the guests that we have, and most of those guests have friends of friends that they follow that person's music or they follow that type of book. So those are the people that I am going to engage with and get connected with. I did get a couple of people commenting on my social, saying, you don't know what you're doing. They even get personal. You're ugly. You don't not going to succeed. You know what I did? I was talking to somebody actually yesterday, and my response to them, I love you too.
Amazing. Yes, and I think that is so good because you kill them with kindness. Because my philosophy is, and obviously I'm not in your shoes, so it's from a different perspective, but the idea of killing them with kindness is you give them sympathy. Because if that's how they like to view the world, and they had the time to go in and basically crap on somebody else, it's like, how is their life really? Right? Like, well, what is it that's going on in their life? And I remember a short, quick story. Basically, on Valentine's Day, -40 weather here in Toronto, my car got broken into. They broke the back window and they stole my laptop in broad daylight. Wow. And I went back to my car and I just started laughing. I was like, good for you. Like, if that's how bad your life is, like, God bless you, because it is. They must have been really hurting to have to be able to do that, right? I mean, I'll get a new window, I'll get a new laptop, whatever. It was fine, but it's like there's just people that are paining, that are hurting. Going back to the earlier topic, because they just don't ask for help, and because they just don't know how to. They don't know where to turn, and so going back to those haters, so to speak, it's people that are actually in pain and they don't know how to. They don't have an outlet to do it, and they have to give it a face online.
And if it gets really bad, one of the greatest thing about social media, you can just go ahead and delete that comment, especially if it's hurting one of my guests. The person comments, I have a dream. I want to continue doing my singing songwriting career. And somebody said, you're never going to do it. And so I'm like, okay. He doesn't need to hear that, or whoever doesn't need to hear that, they don't need to see that, because they're doing what they love to do, and you cannot rain in that parade. So delete.
Right. Yep. Unless the person actually has a cultivated mindset, and it looks like you do some reading as well, judging by the bookcase behind you. But that could also be a fuel, right? When somebody tells you you can't do something. Right. I think there's also that side of the coin, and using that for your fire to really take your dream and take it to the next level. but it's so good that you have this close-knit community, that you're protecting your guests, that you're protecting your brand to just inspire the world, right? It's exciting. So, I mean, what is it that is on LizyT's docket for the future? I know you got some exciting projects going on, and we want to hear more about those. So can you share a little bit with us about that?
I was going to, before COVID, do a lot more networking. I got asked from a lot of venues to cover an event. And so I started to do a lot of event covering. So whoever had a party going on or a gala going on or an award going on. So I was me and my crew, which is my husband, and going into the venue, lights, camera, show action, interviewing.
Like a reporter.
Pretty much, yeah. So I started to have a lot of fun. I've been covering Woman on Fire for the last 3 years. I was nominated for the award Woman on Fire as well for media. But long story short, I love covering events, and I think there is not enough people being recognized out there. Some of those events were very quiet, just within a group of people. So how about bringing the LizyT Show, interviewing those award winners or those book launchers, and having a little bit of their background for us to share with the world. So that has stopped because of COVID. We can't network or do any socializing, social distances here. However, I find them that Zoom and videos is it's another way that we kind of have to do things now. So we're working on that. Working on merch. I'd love to keep selling my merch. I started doing some mugs and backpacks and purses and little things like that. Pens. Merch, I think, is very important for my name and for mine exactly for LizyT. I love those ones because they have the mic in there and has the show. So merch is good. And I don't know, the sky is the limit. There's so much to do, and I think this is a time for me to think about what else is there for the LizyT Show to do.
Yes, absolutely. And you may not have a clear vision yet, but let's say we project it 10 plus years. Well, where does that, where do you see the LizyT Show?
I've been asked this question before, James, and it used to be my answer. I want to be on a Rogers Cable TV show, or CTV, all those brand names, or not brand names, but those more reputable stations. Lately, I am so comfortable on. I have a home studio, and my right hand is my husband. He helps me to do everything. I feel that I have control over what I want to do, how I want to do it. With my coach now, we're thinking of hiring a producer to do things. So I think I feel better, and I'm a little bit of a control freak. That's why it took me so long to hire a coach. But gotta do it has to be done by me. But I think that I if you asked me before, yeah, definitely a big station TV. But now, just make it bigger and hire producers and hire people to help us out and work with maybe a team of reporters and send the LizyT as a brand name with other hosts or with other reporters. Mm-hmm.
Nice. I love it. It's exciting. So before I ask my signature question here, Lizzy, how can people best reach you? What's the best way for them to follow you, to get in touch? Obviously, check out the LizyT Show, but what's the best way for them to follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. We are pretty much in all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We are on TikTok doing some silly things on TikTok. You know, you got to be everywhere. But LizyT.com is the website. There's a form you can fill out there, and if you want to be on the show, just fill up the form. Love to talk to you. Love to see you if it's a possibility via Zoom, or talk to you on the phone and see what your story is. I'm sure you have a story to tell.
Beautiful. LizyT as in LIZY, the letter T.com. Perfect. Love the merch, by the way.
Me too.
Well done. So what does unlimited potential mean to you?
I love that question. When you sent it to me and I read it, and I'm like, the sky is the limit. You know what? I didn't have to think twice. It just came to me automatically.
Just knew.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even finish reading this, and it's just like, the sky is the limit. And we are a people created by God, and we are beautiful, perfect creations. So let's take care of that temple and do what He wants you to do. So the sky's the limit.
Yes, so true. I love it. Lizzy, really appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. And as always, be bold, be limitless.